I'm Denise, I'm the Employability and Guidance Officer for the Lifelong Learning Centre here at the University of Leeds. I'm going to give you my top 10 tips for making a successful application as a mature applicant. Number 1, before you start completing the application form, read the job description. Make sure that you know what the job is, what your responsibilities are, and at what point you need to pass any information on to a supervisor. Number 2, refer to the person specification. Do you have the skills, knowledge and experience that they say are essential to the role? Do you have some of the desired qualities, experience and skills that they would like? Number 3, make it easy for the employer to assess your application. When the employer gets your application, they are going to be marking it against the job specification. They're going to be making sure that you hit all the essential skills, experience and knowledge, and that you have some of the desired skills, experience and knowledge as well. What I would do is I would take the job specification, cut and paste it onto my application, and beneath each and every point I would say how I match that skill, experience or knowledge. Number 4, give real examples as much as you possibly can. Your examples prove to an employer where you have actually put a particular skill or knowledge into practice. And if you can prove that you can do it or you've done it before, then that skill, experience or knowledge could easily be transferred into that new workplace. Those examples don't have to be from past employment. They could be, but they could also be from home life. They could be from study. They could be from volunteering, or they could be from something you've done in your spare time. If you are giving an example, number 5, use the STAR technique to give your example structure. STAR is an acronym, and each letter refers to something that you use in order to give your example structure. The S stands for situation, so a single line about where you were with the example that you're going to be describing. So, I was on the customer service desk at Asda. T stands for task, and this is where you tell them the particular thing that happened on that day that you're going to then describe. So, for example, a man came up to the customer service desk really angry because he wanted to return a product and had been told he wouldn't get his money back. A stands for action, and this is where you write a full paragraph of what you did to prove that you had that particular competence. Be careful when you are writing what you did that you don't use the word we, because often we refer to ourselves as part of a team and say how we collectively would do something. In an example for an application form, you must use the word I, because the employer only wants to know what you did, not we did. The R is a way of tying up the example, because R is the result, and the result was that the customer went away happy. Number 6, if the application doesn't tell you to include a CV, don't send one. If the application form is asking for particular information, please never ever write on your application, please refer to my CV, because what you are actually saying to the employer is, I can't be bothered to complete your application form, do it yourself, here's my CV. What you are proving is that you cannot follow instructions, so your application will immediately go in the bin. Number 7, if there is a field that you have no information to pop in it, always write the words not applicable. That way an employer will know that you've seen the section and that it doesn't apply to you, and that you haven't just missed it by accident. Number 8, don't raise any questions in an employer's mind. In particular, if there was a reason why you left a last employment that might seem a little bit dubious, when you have to put details in the box that says reason for leaving, be very careful what you write. If you write something in there like difference of opinion or reason to be discussed at interview, an employer is immediately going to have question marks about your application. If they've got several applications that they're happy to shortlist and yours is the only one that raises questions, they're unlikely to invite you for interview. If instead of putting things in that last box saying reason for leaving, if you think through what happened as a result of whatever the incident happened to be, ultimately your contract ended. Your reason for leaving is your contract ended. If you write that in the application form, an employer is never ever going to question it, and then hopefully you would still be invited for interview. Number 9, concentrate throughout on what you can do and don't draw attention to what you can't. If, for example, the application is asking you to say about your experience on computers, and in particular there is a particular application that they use that you've never used before, never write I have not used this application before. Instead, skirt around it and tell the employer what you can do and how you have learnt new skills on computers and picked up the skills quickly. Be very positive. Tell them what you can do and be confident in your abilities. Number 10, don't try and skip an application by making an old application fit. Often you can keep old application forms and cut and paste things onto your new application, but please make sure that you are answering the questions. Sometimes applications are full of information that's completely irrelevant just because somebody's used something that they've written before to help them save time. Good luck with your applications. I am around if you need help with your application. If you want to send anything through for me to proofread, I'm very happy to, and I'm happy to add comments on how your application could be improved. My email address is d.edmonds@leeds.ac.uk, and Edmonds is spelled EDMUNDS. Good luck.